Welcome to the 5-Minute English Vocabulary Podcast. My name is Herbert Lee, and I'll be your host. Now you can easily improve your vocabulary without memorizing long lists of boring words, and still develop a powerful command of English. You'll learn the origin of words, or etymology, told as easy-to-remember stories. You'll also hear some jokes, and learn some idioms as well. Episode 25. Latin Words in English, Part 4. Welcome to the fourth and final episode of Latin Words and Phrases, Part 4. In this episode, we're going to give you the rest of the Latin words and phrases that you need to know to really master and understand this wide range of vocabulary. Be sure to listen to the very end because we're going to be sharing with you some very tricky initials, some very tricky and easily confused terms in writing. These are R-E, I-E, and E-G. There's a lot of confusion on how to use these, so listen to the very end to make sure that you get them. Let's get started. Pro bono, P-R-O-B-O-N-O, means for the good of the public. Pro bono indicates that something is being done without payment or reimbursement. This phrase is often applied when lawyers provide legal services for little or no money, though its use is not exclusive to the legal profession. Pro rata, P-R-O-R-A-T-A, in proportion. I need you to build a number of hours pro rata on this job, taking into consideration its benefits to the firm and how much you think it's going to take in the future. Quid pro quo, Q-U-I-D, P-R-O-Q-U-O. One thing is given in exchange for another. It's a standard clause for many contracts. It is also a possible basis for charges of sexual harassment, since in many circumstances there is an offer of job advancement in return for sexual favors. Assuming that quid pro quo is sometimes required, Arthur gave his professor a bottle of whiskey in exchange for an A. Shortly afterward, a visit from the dean reminded him that the university administrators do not look kindly upon bribery, at least when it wasn't extended to them. Status quo, S-T-A-T-U-S-Q-U-O. It means existing state of affairs. This straight-up Latin phrase literally translates to the state in which, and is used in English to describe an existing state of affairs, usually related to political or social issues. The example is, the newly elected president has decided to stay with the existing foreign policy. He's sticking to the status quo. Sine qua non, S-I-N-E-Q-U-A-N-O-N, something that is absolutely necessary. Literally, that without which. Talent is sine qua non for success in show business. Well, on the other hand, there are the Kardashians, so I suppose anything's possible these days. Terra firma, T-E-R-R-A, F-I-R-M-A, solid land, as opposed to water or air or presumably swampland, quicksand, or an earthquake zone. After landing from a turbulence-filled flight, Jason was glad to be on terra firma. Verbatim, V-E-R-B-A-T-I-M, exact words, literally word for word. In high school, my father had to know the rhyme of the Ancient Mariner verbatim. Not only that, he had to recite it in front of a school assembly. His eye still twitches when he remembers the experience. Vice versa. V-I-C-E-V-E-R-S-A. It means that the reverse of what you said is also true. The Latin roots, the word stems from visus, which means change or alternate order, and versus, which means to turn. Here's an example. When I need my sister, she's there for me, and vice versa. Now here are 3 commonly used Latin abbreviations that people confuse, and I've seen a lot of people confuse using them in writing. So when you see e.g., it means for example. Commonly confused with the similar term i.e. E.g. stands for the Latin phrase exempli gratia, which means for the sake of example. In English, it is used to introduce a list of examples in place of the phrase such as. I.e. means that is, sometimes mistaken for the similar abbreviation e.g. I.e., on the other hand, stands for the Latin phrase id est, which literally translates to that is. It is most often used to add information that states something in different words or to give a more specific example. Here it is in a sentence. Most of the puppies, i.e., 4 out of the 6, were found homes over the weekend. And finally, re. Re means about. You probably use this Latin preposition every day without really understanding its meaning. Re simply means about, and in modern times we see it used most often in responses to emails and in other correspondence to refer to an earlier topic of discussion. So there you have it. Now you have a complete understanding of various Latin words and phrases that you'll be able to use, particularly when you read other people's writing. And you'll see this in a lot of official documents and in academic literature as well. So these will be very, very useful to you. Watch out for our next series. We're talking about Word of the Year. This is like a popularity contest of words for every year for the last 10 years. You need to learn these popular words because these words are used very often and will make your vocabulary really powerful because you will be using vocabulary that's contemporary, that's modern. So until then, it's Herbert Lee saying bye for now and see you next week.